Hello and welcome everyone. I'm hoping that you can see me. My name is Mardi from Renewy Living. Um, can I get a thumbs up in the chat box that you can see me and that you can hear me all okay? Great. Thank you. Oh, thanks, Muriel. That's fantastic. So you're here because you're interested in doing some green cleaning and making that switch from toxic chemicals into something that's more suitable and sustainable for the environment. So I need to do a bit of housekeeping before we get into the house cleaning. So how about, because this is a nationwide presentation, if you could pop in your chat in the chat box whereabouts you're coming from in Australia, that would be super duper. And while you're doing that, I'll just let you know that this session is going to be recorded, not only just for sending out for email purposes, but it gets posted on Plastic Free July's YouTube as well. So please have your microphones on mute. That would be super. Thank you everyone for putting where you're coming from in the chat box. I can see there's a lot of Sydney people, Maitland, which is close to me, person Victoria, yay, Hunter Valley, Toronto, excellent, Lake Macquarie, Wonnarua, fabulous. So we've got a little bit of diversity here on the East Coast. Great, all right, so let's get started. The other bit of housekeeping is that we'll be using the chat box for any kind of questions that you have during the presentation, but we won't be going through that chat box until right at the very end. So please feel free to put everything in when you can. I'll start sharing my screen for the slideshow. So let's get into the house cleaning. So welcome to this presentation for green cleaning, switching to solutions that work. So I'm from Renewy Living. This is my own business, and I started this business about 8 years ago or so. And it's all about celebrating local sustainability. So as a social enterprise, I share the stories of people from regional communities who are doing good things for people and planet. The name Renewy Living, so that's my business name. Renewy is the affectionate name for Newcastle, which is where I live, and Newcastle's in New South Wales. So I'm speaking to you from the lands of the Awabakal people. And I also want to recognise that we're all coming from different Aboriginal lands and pay my respects to elders past and present across the country. So when I talk about sustainable and local sustainable living, I'm talking about we're starting with ourselves, our family, and our homes, and then branching out after that with the influences that we have. My logo, you can see in the top right, is with 3 circles, and it's like concentric circles of change. So we start with that inner circle, and then we branch out from the local into the global. And we all know that living sustainably is about living well, and living well starts with you. Green cleaning, sure, it didn't happen overnight, but it did happen. So why me for green cleaning? Well, living sustainably is all about our everyday decisions and our everyday actions. And let's face it, cleaning and housework never ends. We have a family of 4, and we've experienced a gamut of cleaning problems, you know, from strawberries on the carpet to chocolate, red wine, blood, vomit, urine, Sudocrem, and even slime. Perhaps you've had like a range of those kind of things in your house as well. My journey into green cleaning started more than 20 years ago. Look, it's really hard for me to believe, but my eldest is 19, and so the green cleaning was happening before he was born. And of course, there is, like anything, there's many elements that make up my green cleaning journey. My husband and I are really sensitive to fake smells. And for me, my symptoms is I get really wheezy, I get itchy eyes, I get very itchy and dry skin. And for him, that's his trigger for migraines. Now, another part of this journey is I used to be a preschool teacher. And when I'd walk into the building of a morning time, the smell of chlorine bleach would absolutely bowl me over. Sure, it was clean, but geez, my day didn't start very well because of the smells. And it also frustrated me no end that I was led to believe that in order to have a clean and sparkly house, that I needed to use products that I didn't enjoy using. The smell would linger for a long time. The products would stain my clothes. And then once we had children, were actually unsafe for my swiffering, floor-dwelling babies. And this was further compounded by learning about the negative impact that toxic chemicals that have on our environment and also on our health. So that led me down the path of becoming Low Tox approved by Alex Stewart from Low Tox Life. Now, excitingly, I presented my first ever green cleaning workshop, what was unknowingly on the eve of COVID lockdowns in March 2020. It was an event that was well turned out. People were very interested in how to clean better for their home using a lot less toxic chemicals. But then with COVID, I had a hiatus of a couple of years, but now it's so enriching to be back and to bring green cleaning back into the homes of everyone. I believe that sharing all my lifetime of stories and the real life examples shows that how caring for the planet is also deeply connected for caring for people. And my work is grounded in balance, knowing that we can only do the best you can do with the knowledge that you have. So I like to focus on giving you the knowledge so you can make practical green cleaning changes feel possible without compromising on the results. Because let's face it, everyone needs a clean and healthy home. So remember, please feel free to pop any questions into the chat box as we go, and we can answer that at the end, and also making sure that your microphones are on mute. So let's go to the next slide. So in order to ditch the toxic ingredients and switch to green cleaning, we're going to look at an overview of the chemicals that you need to avoid. All right, big cross for the chemicals to avoid. You'll find that the majority of active ingredients used in mainstream cleaning products can aggravate allergies, your skin sensitivities, respiratory irritations, and also contribute to an unbalanced ecosystem. That's exactly what I was talking about in how I started my green cleaning journey. So why on earth would we want to do that to ourselves? In recognition that we're actually at the start of Plastic Free July, many of these mainstream products are either packaged in hard or soft plastic and may also include hidden plastics such as phthalates. Now, this is a really interesting one because if you haven't heard of phthalates, you wouldn't even know that they exist. Phthalates, and it's got a really tricky spelling to it, is actually a plasticizer. And what that plasticizer does is it helps fake fragrances to linger longer. And so one way to avoid phthalates is to avoid any product that lists fragrance as an ingredient. So when you see fragrance on a packet, then that's a strong indicator that it's a synthetic or a fake fragrance. In addition to phthalates, there's all these other major nasties that I'll just go through them very quickly, but ones like triclosan and quartz and ammonia, chlorine, sodium hydroxide, sodium lauryl sulfate, petroleum distillates, which is a naphthous kind of irritant, and phosphates. So as I said before, they all contribute to an unhealthy home and a very unbalanced ecosystem. So we know that there are better ways. The next slide is we're going back into the science classroom for a basic understanding of pH levels with acid and alkali and how that contributes to what goes into making an effective green cleaning solution. Now, I will say that I'm not science trained. As I said, I was a preschool teacher, but this I find is a great visual to help us understand what makes for an effective cleaning solution. I love a good chart. So I'll just briefly explain how this chart works. When you look at it, the number 7, which is in dark green, is neutral pH, and that is water. Now, a lot of cleaning solutions are alkaline based. So let's skip up to the top of the chart to number 14. That is the highest alkaline pH scale. It's something like drain cleaner. And you know how horrendous that smell is. Oh, it's so gross. Then underneath drain cleaner is bleach. And then underneath that is ammonia. So they're really strong toxic chemicals. Now, straight after ammonia on number 11 is the most extreme alkaline level that we're going to go with for green cleaning, and that is soap. When you look at the chart again, we're now going to go down to the bottom of the chart. So go back to number 7, the green at neutral, at water. And let's skip to the bottom of the acidic scale. So that means the strongest pH indicator, battery acid at 0, and then stomach acid at 1. When we're looking at our cleaning products, we're going with lemon juice as the strongest acidic pH level, which is at number 2. Now, I'd really like you to keep this visual chart in mind as we go through the next ingredients that are actually suitable for green cleaning solutions. All right, so let's remember the chart. We're going for the key alkali ingredients. So that's the ingredients that are at the top of that chart. They're really effective, and the good news is that about these ingredients is that they're ingredients that you can pronounce. They have a low aroma, they're biodegradable, and they can also be used for other things. Now, in the alkaline level of cleaning products or cleaning ingredients, what we're looking at here are 3 main ingredients. They are Castile soap, bicarb soda, and washing soda. They're the 3 alkaline ingredients of our green cleaning products that we're going to use. The Castile soap is that pH, as I said, anywhere, but it's actually anywhere between 9 and 11. The max is 11. It's a really effective cleaning solution that's suitable for lifting dirt and grease, and it's gentle enough on the skin. Now, bicarb soda is a great cleaning solution that's mildly abrasive and is really effective. It's at a pH of about 9. And the good thing about bicarb is you can not only just use it for cleaning, but you can use it for cooking as well. So it's often something that you put in Anzac biscuits to make the bicarb react with the butter to make it all bubbly and crunchy. So after bicarb soda, there's washing soda. Now that's at about 11 as well. And remember in that chart that I was saying that the alkaline, the pH that we're going to get, the highest is 11. Now washing soda is called sodium carbonate, and it's also known as soda ash. It's stronger than bicarb soda, but it is not suitable for cooking. It is only a cleaning product, but it's still really effective at degreasing and deep cleaning your clothes. Now, all of these 3 ingredients are great for grey water and septic solutions. So even if you live in an area where you're connected to mains water, this is really good to know because it shows that If you've ever known anyone with septic or grey water solutions, that getting that balance right is really important, and it also shows why green cleaning is better for the environment as well as our health. All right, so I've just gone through the 3 ingredients that are the key alkaline ingredients. Let's move on to the key acidic ingredients that you need for green cleaning. So the acidic ingredients, there's 4 of them that I've listed, but they're the ones that sit on that chart below the pH neutral of 7. Now, the first one might surprise you because the first one is vodka. Yes, it's an alcohol that you buy from the bottle shop, but the best thing about vodka is it breaks down grease and sticky residue, and it also evaporates very quickly for a streak-free shine. So when you need to clean your floors and you don't need to get that pit marking, vodka is an excellent addition. Sitting above or below vodka on that scale is hydrogen peroxide. Most people would think that this is a bleach and you can only use it for your hair, but of the peroxide or the bleaches, it's the simplest and the safest peroxide in terms of what's suitable for the environment and for your health. It's much better for sensitive users. So hydrogen peroxide, which is a 3% 3% solution. It's also suitable for grey and septic systems. It's slow acting compared to the chlorine bleach. And remember when we were looking at that chart, chlorine bleach was sitting up quite high in the alkaline ingredients. This one is slow acting, so it does take a little bit more time to be effective, but it works, and it's actually biodegradable because when it breaks down into water and oxygen. In addition to hydrogen peroxide, for green cleaning, we can also use lemon and vinegar. Now, these are very common ingredients that you've heard in how to use or what type of things to use for green cleaning. Lemon and vinegar are both acidic, but they're different types of acidic. So lemon is a citric acid, perfect for lime scale removal. So that's that buildup that happens in your kettles or your coffee machines and the iron. And the vinegar is an acetic acid. Sometimes it can be too acidic for surfaces such as granite and marble, but it is an absolutely excellent ingredient for cutting through grease. There's one more ingredient because I did say 8. We've only hit the 7 at the moment. So there's one more ingredients that are essential for green cleaning. These are essential oils. Now, I'm not fussed on where you purchase your essential oils from, but the key to buying good quality essential oils is that they must be 100% essential oils. Otherwise, you're getting a diluted product or you're getting potentially a synthetic product. Now, essential oils are beautiful because their chemical products is actually, or properties I should say, is what makes them effective for green cleaning. When you combine them with all those other ingredients, they're ideal for stubborn grease and grime. They enhance the cleaning power of the DIY green cleaning solutions. They're antibacterial, they're deodorize, and you can blend the oils to your liking. So great essential oils for cleaning include things like eucalyptus oil, tea tree oil. All the citrus oils are really powerful as well. And then there's other ones such as clove and cinnamon and rosemary. So there's the 8 ingredients that we need to start with for our green cleaning. Now, I'm hoping that you think so far that we're onto a good thing here, because if that's all you need for green cleaning, then how much does that actually simplify your cleaning products that are in your house? I'd like to give you some examples now of how to use these kind of things in the bathroom, the kitchen, and the laundry. So in the bathroom, I'm just going to talk you through the types of solutions that I use in the bathroom, starting with the toilet. So with the toilets, I use a vinegar spray. I have that made up in a bottle. It's 50% vinegar to 50% water, and then some essential oils of choice. And so I've used eucalyptus and tea tree in mine. And I use that vinegar spray for the cistern, behind the toilet seat, in and up underneath the toilet seat. So it's a really great spray. And then for inside the bowl, I use what's called Miracle Spray. Now, Miracle Spray is found on the back of the washing soda packet. I did not make up this recipe, but what I have done, and I can send this through as part of the follow-up email, what I have done is brought it down to a much more manageable portion size. And the Miracle Spray is actually a miracle. So thank you to whoever invented this. But all it's made out of is water, washing soda, white vinegar, liquid Castile soap, and oils of your choice. And it is a winner of an ingredient of a solution when it comes to green cleaning. So it's a lot stronger. Like those ingredients that are in the Miracle Spray make it a much stronger cleaning product. Miracle Spray can only be used on surfaces that it's going to be washed off, so which is why doing it inside a toilet bowl is fabulous. If you don't want to use Miracle Spray, you can use a sprinkling of bicarb followed by a splash of vinegar. Let it sit for a little while, give it a scrub, and then flush it down the toilet. So in the bathroom, we have the toilets. Then we move to the sink. Now, the sink and all of these next things that I'm going to share with you is there's 3 different sorts of cleaning solutions, and you don't need to use all 3. It's all about using which ones you prefer, but I've tried all of them for you. So the cleaning solution, you can either use a powder, a made-up powder, which is made of bicarb and essential oils, or you can use a cleaning paste, which is similar to gumption, but is made of all those natural ingredients that we talked about before, or you can use the Miracle Spray as well. And then that's how you clean the sink. It actually makes it really nice and shiny, regardless of which one you use. It's just a matter of how you prefer to clean. It comes down to your choice. Let's move on to the shower. Now, the shower is everyone's biggest bugbear, right? Like there's shower scum, there's a potential for mold, and it's a major problem in bathrooms. So shower scum, I'll give you a top tip for this one. To reduce the shower scum in your shower, it's best to use a naturally made soap. So perhaps one that's either the Dr. Bronner's Castile soap or one that's made at your local markets that someone has made for you. Much better than buying soaps that have been around for generations and generations. Their ingredients have changed over time, which makes them more not as friendly on your skin, what shall I say, as what the natural soaps are. So this is to reduce the soap scum. So let's get back into the shower. So reducing the soap scum, change by choosing natural soaps and shampoos, squeegee your shower after use, and ensure that your grout in your shower is a sealed grout. Now, to clean your shower, you can use the cleaning paste. Again, the powder, the cleaning paste, or the Miracle Spray. It does need some elbow grease, get in there with a coconut scourer as well. A toothbrush is great for those fine areas, or even a skewer also. So there's a combination of things. Everything does need elbow grease. But you know what? Let's face it, that mainstream toxic products, don't be waylaid by their marketing. They also need some elbow grease going into them as well. All right, so general shower, the glass, yes, remove the soap scum with those ingredients that I said before. If you need to get into the grout just that little bit more, there's a great solution you can make up, which is using bicarb soda and adding some hydrogen peroxide just to make a paste. And then from that paste, you put it on your grout and let it sit for 30 to 40 minutes. And then give it a scrub with the toothbrush and then wash it away. Now, it won't clear off all of your mold because that is a deeper issue, but it does whiten it just that little bit. Okay, moving to the bath. The bath, again, same as before. Use your powder, your paste, or your spray. I'll send you all those details as a follow-up. Mirrors and windows, going back to that vinegar spray. So you know how I mentioned in the toilets before how I use a vinegar spray makeup of 50% vinegar, 50% water? That's perfect for your mirrors and windows already, as well, sorry. So just spraying that on. I use cut up t-shirts. I don't need to use paper towels or microfiber cloths because microfibers also spread plastic that we don't know about. So using t-shirts that are no longer wearable because they're either worn out or got holes or they've got stains, and then you can just pop all those things in a hot wash to wash afterwards. Oof. Now, I know that's a lot, that's the bathroom, but it's a big cleaning area, right? It's a very big wet area. And you'll discover after this whether you're a powder person, a paste person, or a spray person when it comes to your cleaning. Moving on to the kitchen. Now, things are much easier because really what you've got set up in the bathroom, you can also use in the kitchen. So in the kitchen sink, which is most often stainless steel, but can also be ceramic, again, powder, paste or spray. Which one are you? Either one is fine. If you need to get into the sink and give the sink a little bit more of a scrub, that hydrogen peroxide paste that I spoke about is also a good one to cleanse out all the grimy stuff. Bench tops. Back to the vinegar spray. The vinegar spray is perfect for degreasing your bench tops. So it's funny, right? Like you've got the detergent in your sink and you're washing everything with a detergent and cloth, and then you wipe down the bench tops and you think it's going to be clean, but it's not until you get that vinegar spray happening and then you find that you've actually degreased your bench top a lot better and it's a lot cleaner than what it was before. Vinegar spray isn't suitable for granite or marble or any porous bench tops, so please don't use it on that. But it is perfect for things like Laminex and sealed bench tops. Now, if you have a ceramic or an induction cooktop, again, you can wipe that over with vinegar spray for a gentle clean, or you can use a cleaning paste as well, as long as everything gets rinsed off. Microwave, clean it with your soap, clean it with the detergent, clean it with the vinegar for degreasing as well. And the same for when your fridge needs a clean out. You know, take out the shelves, use warm water and detergent. That is all you need to clean your fridge. Now, the big one in the kitchen is the oven. So just like in the bathroom, the shower was the big one. In the kitchen, it's the oven. Now, I'm really fortunate that I have a pyrolytic oven. I just highly recommend that you follow the instructions and clean out all of the little bits and pieces in the oven before going onto the pyrolytic function. Otherwise, you get to know your local fireys very, very well, and that is not that is not fun either. Anyway, pyrolytic ovens are great for cleaning because it really stops you from using any toxic chemicals. But I have heard that that if you need to clean out your oven using greener cleaning solutions, is that you need to heat up your oven first. Take out all the racks. Heat up your oven with having a baking dish filled with water so it creates a bit of a steam effect. And then you can wipe that down and then have a baking soda or a baking powder mix to give that a clean with some essential oils. And again, rinsing that off is ideal. Otherwise, you will be left with a white paste in your oven. Oh, yeah. So sorry, I got distracted by myself telling my pyrolytic fire story. Yeah, it was. I'm all safe. It was fine. Nothing happened, but it was really important for me to phone the fire brigade for that particular thing. Okay, so going back to the kitchen and what's suitable for you. So I was having a look at like what's suitable for marble bench tops or granite bench tops. And I was doing a bit of a search on the internet to see that there's this thing called marble paste by a company that makes it. And they said, oh, look, it only includes 3 ingredients. That's all it is. And it's really safe for your granite and your marble. So me being me, instead of $50, which is what this 3 ingredient product is, I didn't even have to do a deep dive just to see what the basic ingredients were, because they're not going to give everything because they can't give everything away. But essentially, they're using bicarb soda and essential oil, and that's what you can do to clean your granite and your stone bench tops, because the bicarb soda is only mildly abrasive. It doesn't give a good, like a deep, scratchy clean. So yeah, you can use that instead. So it's really worth looking into what kind of products do some companies recommend, and how can you actually switch that into a more suitable green cleaning product. Moving on to the laundry, because that's another big area of our green cleaning. So let's start with hand washing. Now, I know that not everybody hand washes everything, but there are some things that you may need to hand wash, such as woolens and silks. So instead of buying a wool wash is essentially using liquid Castile soap with a splash of eucalyptus oil or tea tree oil. And that is it. That's all you need for your washing of your woolens. Now, depending on what kind of washing machine you have, that you can do that wash in a front loader for sure, because they usually have a gentle wash, not recommended for top loaders. But what you've already done there is you've got the liquid Castile soap and you've already got the eucalyptus and the tea tree oil, so you may as well use it for woolens. There's no need to buy anything else. That means that you've got this plastic bottle that you don't need, and you've got this extra product that only is suitable for one thing. So this is what I like about green cleaning, is that those 8 products can be mixed and matched to create different products throughout your whole house. For the washing machine, I do actually buy washing powder. I have it for my front loader. I haven't settled on finding a recipe that's suitable for me, but I have done a little bit of research into, or looking into, brands that are suitable and have less toxic ingredients in them. And I find that Simply Clean powder, I don't use liquid for my washing machine, but I use powder. So Simply Clean works. And then if you need to do a bit of a whitener, pop in some vinegar or even some washing soda, because washing soda is a great whitener. You don't need to use any optical brighteners because they're really bad for the environment. The washing soda can be used as a pre-soak, as well as pop it in for an extra boost for whitening your clothes. Make sure that any detergent you choose, whether it's laundry or your dishwashing detergent, is phosphate free. Normally there's an indicator with a P, which indicates that it can be phosphate free, but please look out for that, because that is one of those toxic ingredients that can really damage the biodiversity of in our waterways. Also make sure that it's grey water and septic system suitable. That's also, again, really important. As I was saying before, it's better for environment and it's better for our health as well. In relation to specific clothes cleaning, I really wish that school uniforms and sports clothes that have been marketed as stink free, they're absolutely hopeless to wash. They're hopeless to wash out any of the smells because I find that the synthetics actually catch the sweat and they don't let it go. And also on school clothes, no matter how much I try on those synthetic polo shirts, marks catch on those clothes and they can never be removed. So, yeah, bring back the old school clothes where it's cotton with a little tiny bit of polyester. Because as you know, like polyester clothes are made of plastic. And so it's plastic upon plastic. So what we're trying to do here is to reduce our toxic load as much as possible. Now, going back to woolens, I have a podcast called the Renewy Living Podcast, and on there I interviewed one lady out at Singleton who grows her own fibres to use for her art, but she also knows exactly how to care for woolen clothes. And she does this also in a very green, natural way and describes very well on how to do that. So I think that's episode 10 of my podcast. So that's well worth a listen. All right, so let's find out how to actually make the switch. I know I've given you lots of information already, and you're probably wondering, oh my goodness, where do I start? Please pop anything in that chat box so we can chat about it at the end. But what's important for you to ditch the toxic chemicals and to make the switch into green cleaning is, first of all, you really need to use up what you already have. I do not want you to throw anything away that you think, oh no, it's toxic, I can't use it anymore. I want you to finish it because there's absolutely no point just throwing away. That's a real waste. So use up what you have first. And then once that's used up, I want you to see what the suitable substitute product could be. So if you have Windex, so that's a great example. So if you have Windex and you're cleaning that for mirrors, see if you can sub that out with a 50% vinegar, 50% water solution. That is perfect as a sub out solution. All right, so if you can't DIY, it's okay to buy store-bought products as long as they are less toxic. And for you to know whether they're less toxic or not, you need to do a little bit of research about what ingredients you're looking out for. A great app to use is the Chemical Maze app. It's definitely available on Apple, and I'm sure it's available on, I don't know what they call it for Android. Sorry about that. Is it Google Play? So it's a great app for helping you understand the chemicals that you may need to start avoiding. Now, if you are the cleaner in your house or you are employing a cleaner or for any other reason, I really would like you to have that conversation with the cleaners about how you're going to take that next step forward. All right, from my experience to yours, I've had lots of cleaning experience, and I'd now like to share with you that you can be reassured that I've lived in your shoes. We've all had cleaning problems, but here are the three main things that I've learned to help switch into green cleaning. First of all, you need to streamline your cleaning. It's no point switching into green cleaning and having 10 million products. I've done a lot of reading of green cleaning style books, and I've got quite a selection here. And I've tried lots and lots of things so that you can then have this as streamlined as possible. I've chosen things that I know that are products that I'm going to use all the time. I'm not choosing other products that I'll never use for anything else. So I want you to see if you can bring your staple clean product ingredients down to at least 8 ingredients. You'll save so much on the volumes of single-use plastic, and you'll also avoid all those plasticizers and the toxic ingredients. I very much liken my cleaning products to be like whole foods and whole food eating as well. I like to know what's in my products so that I feel much better, and I know that my house is much happier and the people who are living in my house are much happier and can breathe a lot easier. Another thing I've learned is sometimes it can take a little bit of time to get into a cleaning groove. And so that's what I was saying before about, are you a powder person, a paste person, or a spray person? Because all of those things are really effective, and I don't want you to have all three things. I want you to just know what ones work for you and go with that one. I have also learned that the powder, I love the powder, but the powder is great for horizontal surfaces only, not really good for vertical surfaces. So I'm more of a paste and spray person. Now, once you know that, you'll know which products work for you and which ones work for your household as well. Now, the other thing I've learned is you do have to be a mindful ingredient checker. So as I've said before, that app like the Chemical Maze app is really super helpful. But it also means that unfortunately, there's a lot of products that say that they're sustainable, but they may not be. It's called greenwashing. Now, one of those things about greenwashing is the use of the color green, right? Now, I've realized that I'm actually wearing green tonight. Guaranteed I'm not greenwashing you, but the use of the color green on products is usually that visual clue for people to go, oh, it's the color green, it must be okay. But what I'm really encouraging you to do is be more mindful about that product. Switch it over and see what kind of active ingredients are in there. If there's anything that doesn't feel right to you, then I would suggest that that's not the product that you need to get. So the biggest thing for me, like apart from all those chemicals that I shared at the beginning, another big thing for me is that term fragrance, because I know that those synthetic smells really don't do it for me, and it gives the headaches and everything in my house. So fragrance is a key indicator that there's something pretty fake going on in that product. All right, everyday wins. So green cleaning is about a win every day, because you have to clean your house every day, whether that's a spot clean or a big clean. And it really just goes to show how switching to green cleaning can actually have a positive impact on you. You have a healthier you, a healthier family, healthier home, and healthier environment. And this is all to do with reducing your toxic load, simplifying your cleaning products, and challenging the norms of what a clean home can be and should be like. So when I say that, it's like what I was mentioning before about, the advertising that's happening where they just go spray on, wipe off, nothing needs to happen. You can challenge that norm, because things do require a little bit of elbow grease. So, and that's more than normal, and it's okay. This is the last slide before I join you back into the chat room, but here's what I want you to do and what I want you to think about. What one green cleaning switch are you ready to try? Now, I'd like you to think about that as what's your first doable step that makes you immediately feel like you're ditching the toxic chemicals and switching to healthier alternatives. To think about the one green cleaning switch, you might need to think about what your biggest problem is first. So if you now know what your one green cleaning switch is that you're ready to try, can you pop that in the chat box, and let's see if you can inspire others. See if that's the same thing as what they're going to try as well. Okay, so that's the bulk of the presentation over. But now we're going to open it up for the conversation and the chat. So I'll join you back in that space. Okay. Oh, so I'm back in the space here and now going through the chat box. So are there some essential oils toxic to pets? That is a great question because yes, there are. Now, pets, particularly because they do lots of licking of things when you're inside. Now, I can't remember off the top of my head exactly which ones they are, but Narelle, as part of the follow-up, I will send out a list of essential oils that are toxic to pets so that everyone is aware of that and has got the right information. That's a great question, Narelle. Narelle also asked, does the laundry powder clump in the front loaders? So the laundry powder that I buy, so such as Simply Clean, and there's another one called Abode, that's another brand, that's a really good brand. I find that they're perfect for front loaders. I don't get any clumping possible. You need to make sure that you put it in the right slot. That is one of the things that when I was trying to make my own laundry detergent or laundry powder that I was struggling with, I felt like it was clumping a little bit or it wasn't making my clothes clean. So that's why for laundry that I do recommend like a really good sustainable brand. Muriel, the name of the app that you're thinking of is the Chemical Maze app. There is a payment that's required for that app, but I've had it for a number of years now and still find it really useful. It's good because, as I said, like right at the beginning of that chart, I'm a very visual person, and the app just gives that indicators of whether it's green, orange, or red, and it's got like smiley faces. So you see that when it's red, it's an ingredient that you really don't want to go near. So the dishwasher, Narelle, I like all your questions. So the dishwasher, again, like the laundry, I haven't come across a perfect DIY solution, complete solution for the dishwasher. So I do buy my dishwasher powder, again, from Simply Clean or Abode. They do some really great powders. I do a vinegar rinse out and clean for both the washing machine and the dishwasher. I don't use it as a wash for washing the dishes, but as more of a clean out. It's also good as a sub out to rinse aid, actually, the vinegar. So that's what does work, the vinegar, using the vinegar instead of rinse aid. So that's a really good switch out. So Muriel asked about the mops. Presuming you mean the cleaning mops on how I clean floors, perhaps. I do have, what do I have? I've had it for years. It's like, it looks like a broom handle. It looks like a broom handle, and it's got like, the padded mat that you can rip off, put it in the solution, put it back on again as well. I much prefer that than those mops that I don't even know what they're called, but I don't like those ones. You know what I mean? If I've got the visuals happening there. Miracle spray. I will forward you the recipe to the miracle spray. As I said, it is on the back of the electric washing soda packet. Now, the electric washing soda packet is available from supermarkets in the cleaning aisle, and it's in a soft packet, and it's usually found at the top of the shelves. But if you turn over that packet, the miracle spray recipe is on the back there. Joe's asked about a spray for bench tops in the kitchen. I totally think that the vinegar spray is the best spray to use. Again, unless you have a granite or marble um, bench tops. Yay, someone's going to ditch the Windex. Now, the co-brand, that's a great question, Joe. I have not actually used the co-brand, so I don't have any thoughts about that, and I haven't heard anyone else use the co-brand. But again, what I can do is I can look into it and get back to you as part of the follow-up. Lucy says, due to eczema and allergies, I find I only use a few cleaning items: the dish detergent, water-soluble eucalyptus oil, Earth Choice washing detergent, and hot water. And I find this is fairly easy to manage. I would agree. As well as popping a small amount of lavender oil on a cloth to avoid creepy crawlies from entering the house. Yay! That, Lucy, that really goes to show how things like essential oils are perfect for other uses as well. The washing detergent, yeah, hot water. Hot water is great for cleaning. Or even though it's never recommended in terms of energy usage for clothes cleaning, I always wash my clothes at a 30 or 40 degree wash in my front loader. I sort of liken it to the fact that when I wash my dishes, have you ever tried to wash your dishes with cold water? It doesn't seem to work and take off all the grease. So when I wash my clothes, I do use a 30, 40 degree wash. And for things that need extra cleaning, that usually goes into a 60 degree wash. Thanks, Lucy, for sharing that. Now, the Castile soap recipe, asks Kate. I don't actually make my own Castile soap. I buy Castile soap both in liquid form and soap form. There are many brands that have quality Castile soap. The one that I use and I love is Dr. Bronner's. Now, even though it's American owned, they do ethically source all of their ingredients, and it's made from olive oil, which is traditionally where Castile soap was made. So, and it's concentrate. So it sounds like it's really expensive when you buy it, but you don't need to use much of it, and it's a very versatile ingredient. There are other companies in Australia that do Castile soap. Some of them use vegetable oil as a base rather than olive oil. It still can be as effective. What you just need to watch out is if you want to go deeper with your values and look at ethical considerations, then that's something that you can dive into as well when you're looking into Castile soap. Now, that's liquid. In terms of bar Castile soap, yes, I use the Dr. Bronner's bar Castile soap. I don't grate and make my own recipes using soap flakes. I find that is very time consuming. So I don't actually grate that, but I do use that bar soap for my own. You can use it for your own washing as well as laundry cleaning. And Castile bar soap is perfect for traveling because it has multi-uses, right? And everything with a multi-use is perfect. Hope that helps, Kate. Enyo. Enyo, Lucy, is an interesting one for me. I'm not really quite sure how it would work. I think I get concerned about having something that could potentially contain microplastics, because there's got to be something in there in those cloths to make it work in order for you to not use any other solution. So yeah, for me, that's a question mark that I'm really not sure about. Melanie, oh yes, okay. There you go. Thank you for answering. What kind of mop do I use? There you go. I didn't even know. I've had it for years. Sadco mop. Yes. There you go. Okay, Liz, what do you recommend for laundry stain remover? Now, that very much depends on your stains. There can be a combination of things that I use. You can use either Sunlight soap or Exit soap. Now they are mainstream. They have been around for generations as well. But in terms of they use the least amount of toxic chemicals compared to other products around. So you can use that, or you can use the Castile soap as a better solution. Um, some of the other things I find that works as a stain remover is bicarb and then Miracle Spray, and then you rub that in and then let that sit for a little while, and then pop that without rinsing it. Pop that straight into the washing machine and put it on your normal wash cycle. Now, again, it depends on the stain. Sometimes that might need to happen many, many times. And it also depends on the material or fabric that you're using uh, as well, because hydrogen peroxide, even though I've never used it, it is also a good stain remover. Again, you need to be careful about which clothes that you use it on. The hydrogen peroxide is that lowest one of the 3% solution, so it is deemed as safe for clothes, but you'll have to do spot testing to find out more. I hope that helps, Liz. Thanks, Narelle. I'm glad you're appreciating this and you've got some notes, and we'll follow up with some notes. Would you replace, CD asks, would you replace sanitizing spray or, oops, hang on a minute, it's jumped for me. Would you replace sanitizing spray or spray and wipe with vinegar solution or other? Now, I think that, truth be told, I've never used spray and wipe. So I'm not quite sure how you would use spray and wipe. But yeah, I mean, I use vinegar solution for a lot of good things. Now, vinegar and all of these things are antibacterial. For sanitizing, in terms of if you're looking at COVID kind of sanitizing, then these are not necessarily sanitizing, they are cleaning. So yeah, I would use perhaps vinegar solution because I use it for so many things. It's one of those vinegar solution sprays that I take on holidays with me as well. CD, I hope that helps a little bit with your question. It's funny, isn't it? Because I don't really know what spray and wipe I would use that for. I just know it smells. Thanks, Steve. Yep, great. Now, Lucy, green mopping. Green mopping. Lucy has said dipping an old nappy or cloth into bucket and wrapping it around a broom. Pop into the washing machine afterwards. Super easy. Saves you having to buy a mop. I love that. That is really good because all of my cleaning cloths are either, as I said, old T-shirts. I even clean toilets using the old T-shirts. I don't use paper towels at all of that cleaning just goes into that 60-degree wash in the washing machine. So, Lucy, I love how you've suggested you can use old cloth nappies or towels and wrap it around a broom. Nice work. What's the best way to wash the mop? Now that we've established that it's a Sabco mop, take off the bottom of it. It's a Velcro kind of arrangement, and then just take that off and pop that in the 60-degree wash when I'm washing all the other cleaning cloths. Thanks, Liz. I'm glad you've found that these are really helpful suggestions. And Rebecca, who's with Plastic Free Foundation, have I found that many of these products are in bulk? Yes, most certainly. Simply Clean often comes in bulk. You can purchase directly from Simply Clean, but also if you have a bulk food store near you, that's often found in bulk. And so you can buy as much or as little as you like, and you can take your own container with you to fill it up as well. So that is one thing to buy in bulk. Vinegar, I haven't needed to buy in bulk. Oh, I will say about vinegar though, there's different sorts of vinegar that you can buy in the supermarket, and the ones that I recommend are your, your vinegar that you find in the pickling aisle or the double strength vinegar. Double strength vinegar is what they like you use for pickling vegetables, so it's safe for cooking. You just don't consume it in a salad of any sort. Now, if you stick to those two different sorts of vinegar, then it means that you can keep those in your pantry and you know they're safe. Safe. Cleaning vinegar is very different and can only be used for cleaning and is not safe for food products at all. So, in order to keep our household safer, I prefer to stick with the main vinegar or the double strength vinegar. Oh yes, we do need to finish up. So thank you very much for your time, because I mean it's a big topic. So thank you so much. If you've got any more questions, feel free to reach out to myself or to Plastic Free Foundation. We will follow up with many of these questions that I'll research for you, and any of the recipes that I've mentioned, such as the miracle spray, excuse me, the cleaning paste, and I'll pop in a couple of other ones for you as well to give that a try. So thank you everyone for coming to the session today. I'm glad that you found it of value and that you can start with one thing. So thank you so much everyone, and welcome to having a clean and healthy home.